Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Mainstream Monday here on Horror Film Lovers. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I'm here with
John Ward.
John Ward, my trusty John Ward, my
That's right.
trusty
Trust,
Ward.
trusty Ward. Ward old man.
Was it Wart or was it Ward in Sword of the Stone? What was that kid's name?
And which one?
Sword of the Stone? You ever watched that as a kid, younger?
The Disney cartoon?
Yeah, the Disney cartoon.
I mean, I've seen it. I don't remember. I used to be called
His name.
Ward old man because of Leave It to Beaver. The dad's name is
Ward.
Ward, and they would call him Ward old man. Like his friends would call him Ward old man.
Oh God, so you were called the Ward Old Man when you were a kid?
Yeah, and like as a teenager, I was called Ward old man. Yeah.
That's funny. Um, Alrighty then. Well, do you have to think of all the jokes I got as Moody?
Stop being moody, Moody.
Things like that, yeah. But then I got called because I've got really small eyes. I got called like Jackie Chan and other things. So,
I
other
well,
inappropriate things.
I mean, I got John, so I got John the toilet. You know,
Nobody calls me
I
John or Jonathan. They just call me fucking Moody or call me like even people that don't know that people call me Moody called me Moody. And I was like, the fuck is wrong with people? Call me Jonathan.
because because sometimes the last name is better than the first name. It's Jonathan is boring, but Moody isn't.
I guess. The first time I ever heard it was from my gym teacher in sixth or seventh grade, I think, and Mr. Lin. And I loved him, Coach Lin. He was my favorite gym teacher. Sorry, Miss Hyde, Miss Gillum. And Mr. Overton, I loved you guys, but Mr. Lin, he was really cool. And he would the first day he was like, Booty, you're up, you know. And I was like, all right, I guess that's my new name,
There you go.
All right. Anyway, we're here to talk about Paranormal Activity 4.
Four.
Yes, 4.
Number four.
Not the
Four.
marked ones, which I thought this was for a second, and then I retracted and watched this one because I was like, oh, there isn't a Paranormal Activity 4. It didn't start with it didn't start kind of not having numbers until uh the fifth one, I guess, the next one. Then it was the marked ones or the ghost dimension. It wasn't part 5 or part 6.
Well, I
Or
don't. I don't think Marked once had it because it was a spinoff.
right.
And
But
they, by
then,
the time Ghost Dimension came out, you didn't want to stick a number on it.
yeah.
It was
Um.
just getting too big.
But Jesus, Paranormal Activity 4. It's a lot of fun for me. I enjoyed it. You know.
My big problem with it, and with how we've been doing this, is it's just a retread of the second movie.
Pretty much.
I mean, you got
Yeah.
the daughter and the boyfriend who get along very well, and the boyfriend's always horny, and the girlfriend laughs along with it, calling him a dork. They're always working off their laptops. They get along with their parents. Same thing that I said on the last video. Mom, you're destroying my life. There's none of that. There's the little brother, and she gets along with the little brother. So it's like I don't know. To me, I like it. I like it better than the third one, but it does kind of seem to be just a retread of. I mean, maybe flip it, make it a guy, and then have the girlfriend come over.
Yeah. I did
Uh,
I really like Catherine Newton. Though she's the new Cassie Lang and Ant-Man, and whatnot. But I adored her in this. I thought she was really fun.
oh God, that's the daughter in Ant-Man.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Oh fuck, no, I haven't seen Ant-Man. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Her character is awful. No, I don't want to say it at all. Because she's better than Ant-Man. Gee, guess what? A woman is better than Ant-Man. You know.
I don't think they
So
ever showed that because Ant-Man
yeah,
rocked in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
she was smarter than
Anyway,
Aqu. Yeah, from what I've seen, she was smarter than Ant-Man. She's better than Ant-Man. It's the same crap that Disney's pulling out. She-Hulk is better than the Hulk. It's all
well,
that
that
garbage.
that I'll agree is what they showed. I don't think they did that in this, in Quantumania. I think you're
I've seen enough of it. I've seen enough of it
all right. You don't have to
to
watch it. I'm not telling you to
yeah
watch it. I'm just
yeah.
saying. I
Stop
also
telling
loved
me to
her.
watch it.
She was also in Supernatural, and she had a really big part in that, and I really adored her in that. She was like the teenage, kind of, you know, uh, drifter kind of thing. Like she didn't really have a family, and she didn't really want to be with, she wanted to be out on her own, ending up hunting the supernatural creatures. And there was supposed to be a spin-off show involving that, those people and stuff. It just didn't happen. Supernatural tried like 3 times to have spin-offs, and none of them caught on, I guess, but I think, except they did do one recently that was a spin-off, and I haven't even watched it yet, the Winchesters, but you know, whatever. Anywho, point is,
I don't know.
I really adored her in that. I adore her in this.
She's
Adored
good in
her.
this. She
She's
was good
great
in
in
this.
Freaky, the movie made by the same director, Christopher Landon, who wrote these things and wrote Happy Death
And
Day.
who's doing Scream 7?
She's doing Scream 7. Catherine Newton, please go be in Scream 7, please. I love that.
I'm excited for Scream 7, so because I like his work. So it's
I think he is fun, you know. He gets horror comedy in a way that not a lot of people do. This made me laugh a couple times, you know. Um, so I really like, yeah, I adored it. This was I believe this wasn't directed by Christopher Landon, was it?
no, it's done by the same guys who did part 3.
Yeah, so it's directed by those guys, but it's written. That's interesting, because then later, I guess they liked working with her for Blumhouse, liked working with her, and then they put her in Freaky, where Christopher got to direct her, you know.
Sure.
But yeah, I liked her in this. I like the little boy, but the problem with the little
Which
boys,
one?
both. The problem I have with both of them was they didn't talk a lot, either of them, you know?
I think that's the point. Wyatt talks at the beginning, and then he becomes quiet once Robbie's there, like
Right.
because Robbie's influencing him, and I guess kind of molding him, into grooming him, I guess, in a way to, because he keeps telling him, your time is soon, your time is soon. I thought I forgot that Wyatt was Hunter. I thought Robbie was Hunter, and it was just that he just had a different name. I do question. So after part 2, when Katie took Hunter as a baby, she put him up for adoption,
Yeah, I don't know why.
and then then the family adopted Wyatt 5 years prior to
I
part
mean,
4.
maybe my only thought about that, because I thought about that last night, was that maybe she put him up for adoption because it's harder to kind of go places and kind of disappear without the cops tracking you with the kid, you know?
But she has Robbie, so she's walking around with Robbie.
That's true.
So then, who's Robbie's kid, or parents? One of the witches or something, or
I
because
don't know.
Katie's pretending to be Robbie's mother.
Right. Which was when you saw that, like the first time you saw that, where you're like, holy crap, there's Katie, like as Robbie's mom.
Yeah, because I don't think I did a lot of research on this stuff when I first saw it. I think I've seen, except for Next to Kin, I think I've seen all of these at least 3 times.
Right.
So, but yeah, whenever Katie popped up, I was happy. And by the time, knowing that she was in part 3, I was like, oh God, that's that she's in part 4. So it's nice that the beginning of part 4 is kind of the prequel to the first one.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So it's always nice to have her back,
Right.
in these things. And I like that we got to see her again. And I guess we don't need to know this information, but did the witches kill the people in the house, knowing that they were right across the street from where Hunter is? Or is it just pure coincidence? I'm
That she
guessing they
like
killed the
living.
people.
I'm guessing they killed people because that killed the people that lived there or whatever somehow, because
or just the witches were always there, type of thing. It's like they've when Hunter was adopted 5 years earlier or something. Well, no, because Katie was a new move-in, so they had to do so they would have to kill the owners.
it was so funny when they're driving down the road after that soccer game or whatever. I think it was soccer game they played, and then they're driving down the road and they see the videotape and they see the kid walking down the street and they're like, that's that weird kid again,
And he was a weird kid. They
He was
casted
a
him well. He was a
yeah.
little weirdo.
Yeah, and I love that like he went up to their like little play place and they're gonna go up there to go the boyfriend and the young daughter, are gonna go up and go to the like the treehouse thing and they get
Yeah,
up there and
he's
they get
hoping to
he's
get
there.
a little bit.
Yeah, and he's there already and stuff. My only problem with
Well,
this,
and don't forget, the boyfriend goes, "Hey, when she brings him back over, he's like, "Hey, thanks, kid, for cock blocking me,"
yeah.
which
Well,
I thought was fun. His dialogue was hilarious most of the time. I thought he was very funny.
oh, you like the boyfriend in this better than the boyfriend in number three.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, because teenagers I think are probably funnier than adults.
And you know what? You know who he reminded me of? Freaking Evan Peters. Like when I saw him, I said, "Is that Evan Peters?" It was
Who's Evan
not.
Peters?
From American Horror Story. I don't know if you watched that or not.
I don't.
Um, he was
I
Quicksilver in the X-Men
oh,
movies.
okay. I know
Um,
that. Yeah.
he was the Quicksilver and yeah, the with the new the prequel ones or
Right.
whatever, right?
No. Now I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah. So he
Yeah.
looked like him. And I was like, "Oh, is that Evan Peters?" And I know him from American Horror Story because when I watched that, he was in almost every season. He's been, in a couple of seasons he wasn't in them, but like he's a recurring, person that Brian Murphy likes to work with. And it's because, well, he's a good-looking dude, or whatever. And this guy was a good-looking blonde kid, and I thought for a second, you know, um, he was Evan Peters. Well, brownish, blondish, kind of hair.
Okay.
Um, I liked him. But his name is Matt Shively. Um, he was also he's been in that show Lopez versus Lopez, which I guess is George Lopez versus his daughter or something. Mayan
No,
Lopez.
a show I will never watch. Okay.
Yeah, probably
I do
have
not
no
like George
interest in.
Lopez.
You don't like George Lopez?
I do not find him funny in the slightest. No. He he might as well just star in movies with Adam Sandler, as far as I'm concerned.
Now this kid's also I say kid, he's probably close to my age. But he was in the Purge TV series as well. So I'm wondering how many people from like the paranormal movies or Paranormal Activity or the Insidious or whatever show up for these shows. Like, do they bring them in and say, "Hey, we'll bring you back for a TV show"? Because
It's
it's all
possible. I
Blumhouse.
actually just got done finishing the Purge series of the TV show. So
Yeah,
I
he
don't
was
I
in the second season, and he was Turner. I don't know if you remember Turner. He was in what 7 episodes, starting with the first episode of the
the
uh
series is pretty good. I like the second series better than the first, and they were going to do a third, but then the third ended up being the Forever Purge.
oh, well, maybe
So
they'll
they
make a third one anyway, sometime. I don't know.
Jason Blum has said that he wants to make more, even though Forever Purge was supposed to be the last one. Um, because the TV shows take place in between the movies, and uh, but he said that even though it was supposed to be the last one, he wants to make more.
I'm gonna watch because I have three of them on the first three on 4K, and I'm gonna sit down and binge watch them at some point because I've seen the first two. I've not seen the third. I haven't seen Election Year or
Each one
whatever.
I think gets better. I bought the Forever Purge and it sat on my shelf for almost a year. And then Joe Lujan told me, he's like, no, you got to watch it. It's really good. And I think it's probably my favorite sequel.
Which one?
It's
The
the
Forever?
Forever Purge. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I gotta buy that on 4K at some
and they're
point. It
all
didn't come in.
political. I mean, I said that on Facebook, and they're all very political.
See, I've got the. There you
Oh,
go.
nice,
Like it's a nice little case too, and comes with all three of the movies on both 4K and Blu-ray.
sweet. Yeah, those should look good. So
Yeah,
the
I'm
first one's
excited.
okay. It's not great,
I
but
didn't dig the first one that much, but you know me and movies set in one location didn't really thought it was okay. I mean, it's kept my interest in it, whatever, but I didn't realize it was only in the house, it was a home invasion movie, basically,
yeah,
and
well, the 2 and 3 branch out. So uh, Anarchy and Election Night, which both have Frank Grillo in them. He plays the same
I love
character.
Freak Grillo. Oh man.
Those branch out into the city, and then
Yeah.
Election Night is they're trying to kill a female candidate who wants to be president. So it was during like the election. So
Hmm.
she's basically supposed to be Hillary Clinton, and then it like Forever Purge is deals primarily with Hispanics, and it so each one kind of has like the first purge is black, so that's the first purge they had it was aimed at black neighborhoods, so the black people would kill each other.
Mm.
So each one kind of has its own little thing, and even though they do bash on white people a lot, I don't mind it at all because I think they're done so well that the white people in them deserve to be
Right.
bashed on or murdered or whatever.
It wasn't woke or anything like that, you know.
No, it was more of statements. Dylan McDermott is in the second season of the TV show, which I thought it was funny. He seems to be the go-to guy now for series, for because he's of course
Wasn't
in
he in
Scream,
the
and
Law and Order one too?
that I'm not sure. And then Ethan Hawke does show up again, so he's in the first one, and he does reappear in the TV series.
Hmm. Thought he was
So
in.
if you were to watch them in order, you would have to watch season 2. No, you'd have to watch the first Purge, then season 2, then the Purge.
Who was the big actor from the that's in the criminal the oh, I was thinking Dylan McDermott. Is that who you were said? Is that
Yeah,
who you
Dylan
said?
McDermott. Yeah, because he's in, of course, Scream 6. He's in the Purge series, and he's also in oh fuck, I just
No,
thought of
you
it.
said you said the other guy. You said there's two. They have the same name, but you said Dermot Mulroney.
Oh, did I say Maroney? Oh,
Yeah,
I
and that
meant
is
Dylan
who's
McDermott.
actually in the Purge series, and he's in Scream 6. Those two guys have like a similar name where it gets to be like a little, but I
Well,
was thinking
he's in. So wait, so who am I thinking of?
so you
McDermott.
but you said
Dylan
Dermot
McDermott.
Mulroney, which he's been in like My Best Friend's Wedding, Young Guns, all this stuff. I
Who's
was
Dylan
saying
McDermott?
Dylan McDermott, which was in the Law and Order Law and Order Organized Crime show, and he's on FBI's Most Wanted show or whatever, The Practice, In the Line of Fire.
No, so I don't mean McDermott. I mean
Yeah,
the
you
other
don't
guy,
mean McDermott, but you mean Mulroney, which is so funny
Maroney.
because I don't know, for some reason their names get a little bit with D's and M's. I don't know. And it's
Well,
not even,
Maroney is the guy that seems to be the guy to go to for these type of movies because, like I said,
yeah,
he's in the second season of The Purge.
he's in
He's in
Scream
Scream
6.
6, and he's in one other one other big series. Insidious. He's in Insidious
Insidious.
3.
He was in Insidious 3?
Yeah, he's the dad.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that, but him being
Yeah.
the dad, but that's Okay.
Yeah, the dad
Yeah,
of the hot girl.
he was the dad. Okay, no,
Yeah,
never mind.
so it's almost like if you want to get somebody known who you could probably get at a decent price, you get him.
There you go. You know,
Because he plus he seems to like these type of movies. Why would he be in them if he didn't?
right. He wouldn't be in Scream 6 if because here's an interesting thing that I heard. The girl who played Topanga in Boy Meets World or whatever, I don't know if you know, Danielle Fishel. She had like a podcast thing that was like the worst audition like worst I think it was audition ever or something, you know. And she had done these she talked about two auditions. And she had talked about how both of the movies were movies that she had told herself that she would never act in. One was a soap opera and one was a horror film, you know. And she had said she would never act in either of those, but like she wasn't getting anything else at the time, right? She wasn't getting comedy or drama or whatever parts, so she had to go on these auditions. And the audition she went on for was Cabin Fever, which I'm glad she didn't get because if she were in that and Ryder Strong, who's also in Boy Meets World, just would have been too much, you know, for would have been annoying to see them both together, like in a horror film. Well, it seemed like it's a thing
A
for
reunion.
yeah, so you know, it'd be weird, you know, in a way, because yeah, but she did not get that part, and it was a bad, like it was a worse audition. It was a bad audition. Don't want to go into
So
that.
I did the follow-up video with Jack Hunter last night to Scream 6. Speaking of Scream 6, it took us about 6 months to do it. So I think I kept calling him Dylan McDermott. I think I kept saying that, and I was never corrected. I
Right, I
think
don't think he
I was.
looked it up or whatever.
Yeah, I think I kept saying that. So I think so.
It's
So
okay. Just write in
uh
the notes. I meant Dylan McDermott. Or wait, not.
no,
I
see
meant I
now,
said Dylan McDermott.
now
Now you're
you're
making me
doing
say
it.
it. Dermot Mulroney. I meant Dermot Mulroney. See, that's the thing. I think both of their names sound like they're intertwined together. You know?
Well, it's like David Keith and Keith David.
Yeah. Barry
You're
White
like
and
you're like which
Barry
one played the
Manilow.
dad in Firestarter? You're like, wait, was that Keith David or David Keith who played the dad? I know who it is, but it's like, God, who played the dad in
Were they
Firestarter?
white or black? Then you know.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, like, that's how you know, because Keith David is black and David Keith is white. I
yeah,
know that he was in the Daredevil series, you know, as the dad. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
um,
So
but yeah, it was. It's so funny. You're right. Like those names and all that stuff, you get them kind of confused and everything. You're like, I'm so excited to see Keith David, and then you're like, oh wait, it's David Keith.
wait, it's David
A
Keith. Not that
different,
that's a
different.
bad thing, but
Not
it's
that it's
just
a
I
bad
wasn't
thing, but it's going to be a
expecting it.
different performance for sure.
Yeah, yeah, very. So, well, I do have my here's my paranormal act. So you don't have the same thing, but I got the girl. Well, this is actually kind of the same
Is it?
because she's in
Well,
bed.
she's in bed and he's staring at her because that's what he liked to do is kind of creep into her room a lot.
Yeah, and this is November 3rd, 2011 is what the picture says here.
Nice.
Um,
It doesn't say anything on mine here.
no, because yeah, it's probably not
This
the
is the
the video
webcam. It
thing.
was the webcam, not actual like video footage.
And
Th-
this is all of these got that same thing. So this was the gimmick
What?
so in the documentary, the directors talk about how do we outdo the swiveling camera.
Yeah, because the swing on camera was cool.
Yeah, so they did like that Xbox thing where
Oh
everybody
yeah,
comes
which
up
is
with
kind
like
of
the
annoying. I didn't like that.
I
You
liked how
know,
you got to see like the different little figures in it.
yeah. Sometimes you could catch like the ghosts with it. You know.
So I'm guessing because this had the little ghost boy, I'm guessing that's not, is that Toby? So maybe the ghost boy was under the sheet in part 3 that just disappears, and Toby is the ghost boy, or is Toby the demon that throws everybody around? Because they seem to be two different things. I don't think the ghost boy throws everybody around, right?
I
Or
don't
does
know.
he?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's never really fully explained who these character, what is which. Um, I know it was Toby, but was it Toby that because he kept talking to somebody and uh at one point what was the boy's name? The actual like son, not the
Oh,
not the
uh,
neighbor,
I actually got the stuff.
Wyatt.
Wyatt, yeah.
So Wyatt was like, "My name's not Hunter. My name's not Hunter."
And he's
Right?
looking up for some reason. In these, they always seem to be looking right off the camera,
Right.
like
And
almost
they're
like
looking up
Toby
like
is
is
sitting.
tall.
Like, why is Toby always next to the camera?
And why
And
is
he
Toby
is,
always so tall?
and he's
You know?
tall, but yet when Wyatt is playing, and we see the kid in like that little kind of dotty thing, he's this little kid. So as a force, but when we actually see him, it's a little kid.
And yeah, and in part three, they mention that he was an old man, wasn't he? Wasn't Toby an old man? He said he was older than his parents or something, or parents. Like
Oh, that I don't remember.
I think
I
that's what
just
she
remember them
said.
saying he's tall.
I think she said he's like an old man, older than you or something like that, if I'm
Probably.
correct.
She also mentions that he's fat because remember that the dad or the boyfriend goes, "Is he thin or fat?" And she goes, "No, don't call him fat." So we
Okay.
know that he's tall, he's fat, okay, he's old, but yet they play with the little kid.
Hmm. By the way, I did not look this up before. Paranormal Activity 3 says the highest grossing film in the Paranormal Activity series. So I guess you're
Which one?
right.
Three?
Part 3,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, but we'll get into what this one did later. Um,
Yeah, I tend to think that, I mean, you would think this would make a fair amount of money if part three did so well. I think that people, maybe by this point, it was fatigue, maybe paranormal activity fatigue, but also it's very close to two. So maybe people who just like been there, done that.
maybe. So apparently the name Toby was named after the assistant director's dog and the
Oh,
writer's
okay.
neighbor's dog. Just that's
Okay.
kind of funny. So just so you know, um,
And in the second one, there's the dog, but in this one, there's the cat. And I'm glad that the cat
yeah,
didn't die.
nothing happened to the cat, which I kept going. Don't do nothing to that cat.
And the cat was throughout the whole thing. He actually had more screen time
The
than the
dogs.
dog did.
Yeah,
Yeah, the cat was
he
just
was
kind of cruising around.
he kept running around in a circle.
At one point, he got looked right into the camera.
Yep, it's cute.
No, actually, no. I think that's deleted. Now with this, there's the theatrical and there's the unrated. So I watched the unrated, but there is this thing called the recovered files.
Oh,
It's 30 minutes,
oh,
and it's not extended. It's not alternate. It's all footage we have not seen, which kind of uh, uh backs up what they say, because with the unrated version and this recovered footage, this would have been over 2 hours. So there's probably even more footage, but it
no,
just shows that they were just filming and filming and filming. There's a whole segment where the daughter and her friends, who we briefly meet in the movie, play hide and go seek in the house. And we
nice.
watch the entire game because the boyfriend has the camera and he's going around trying to find them. And it is the whole scene. And it's like 6 minutes long. So I can see why they didn't put it in. But the interesting thing in this stuff, and is the dad kind of believes the daughter.
Right. Yeah.
In the movie, he doesn't really.
Well,
The mom is definitely like, what the fuck? The dad is kind of like, eh. But in the deleted,
but he's more along the lines of believing her. At least that later he sort of starts believing her with some
I
stuff.
didn't get that. I still got, until obviously he was being thrown against the wall in the other house, that he really didn't believe her, but the mom was more open about it. But he was just kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. But in that deleted footage is the wife and him are talking in the kitchen. And he's like, I'm kind of starting to believe it. What
Hmm.
if she's right? And the mom is like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? And he's like, no. So he goes, haven't you realized since Robbie got here, weird things have been happening? And she's like, what are you talking? No, there haven't. And it's like, okay, I kind of wish they left that in or maybe reshot it,
Yeah.
because it's not a very interesting scene. It's just the camera sitting on the counter and they're talking. Uh, uh, but I like the dad starting to agree with her. I kind of wish that was left in because, and we'll talk, the computer footage that we brought up, I mentioned this in the last video, that there's a reason, and it's a dumb reason. The daughter forgets the password.
Right.
Okay, you can reset a password.
Wasn't it
Why
going to
does it
his email and stuff? Like, wasn't it all set up with him?
why does the boyfriend just, you mean him as in the boyfriend?
Yeah.
So why does the boyfriend just tell her the password? Why
Didn't
doesn't she
he?
write it down?
He did tell her the password.
Right at the beginning, but she keeps forgetting it.
Yeah.
She gets on the computer. She's like, I can't get in this. Why can't I get in this? Because, and that's the convenience of writing, of the only way that they could stop the parents from not believing her is not being able to see the footage.
Right.
And the boyfriend does disappear for a little bit until he reappears, to get killed at the end.
Right.
And because if she was able to show them the footage of the garage, there's no way they couldn't believe her. So why doesn't she know the password?
Well,
Write it down on a
wasn't
pen
that
and
a
paper.
camcorder? She wasn't bringing a laptop into the garage. So that was a
She was
camcorder. Couldn't she just show the dad?
Then she could just rewind it. If it wasn't
Yeah.
the laptop, it was just that little, yeah, like the handy cam.
Yeah. Why didn't
Then
she
she
just show
should,
that to him? Like,
I don't know.
because she leaves. That's actually one of my favorite scenes too in the movie. I really love that scene, like her being
The
out
garage.
there in the garage and the
Yeah.
I guess the all the air, it was the
Yeah. The
monoxide
exhaust.
and
Yeah. It was
stuff.
coming
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
carbon monoxide
Trying to kill
and
her. Yeah.
stuff, and was killing her and stuff. And she had to basically stop it, and then she basically got out of the thing by backing up. And I actually had a feeling I was like, just back up out of the garage, as quickly as you can, get
The,
out of there.
the
Mm.
problem with that, so the car is running.
Right.
So I'm assuming when she's shifting it into reverse, she could do that,
I
because
guess.
without the key, you can't put the car into gear. It
Right.
stays in park. So I'm guessing because Toby turned the car on, she was able then to shift from park to reverse.
Yeah, where did he get the keys?
I
Mm,
guess he just manipulated the starter and the engine to do that. But
yeah.
the parents were actually pretty calm about her destroying the door, and screwing up the back end of the car. I mean, and she's like crying and screaming and stuff that, I didn't even have the keys, I didn't do this. And they're pretty, like, the dad even takes her out to dinner.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck, my mom would have kicked the shit out of me if I, backed out through the garage door.
Yeah, they were a lot nicer to her, and stuff. They weren't yelling at her. She was freaking out about it, but they weren't yelling at her saying, like, how dare you do that? They're just kind of like, all right, okay, we believe you. Well, all right. Like, whatever, And I was like,
See, they should have
that's,
almost had a scene, if they're, and who knows when this was, but if they're going to cut that scene between the dad and the mom, where the dad's kind of like, I don't know, I'm starting to believe her, just have one scene of that angle that you have right there of the dad coming in and going, okay, calmly, tell me what happened.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I've noticing things too, since Robbie's been here,
And
to
we know,
kind of
yeah.
get somebody on her side a
Well,
little bit,
and
because the
that's what she did
boyfriend starts
say.
to believe her.
She did say, like, everything's been happening since Robbie got here, right?
Right.
Or whatever. And because the chandelier fell down on her, which was pretty cool. The knife fell down at the guy's head, which was pretty cool. Like, it fell down and, like, landed right at the thing. And he was like, he could have gotten, chopped or whatever and everything. It freaked him out. That was a cool shot, too. I liked when it fell and
Yeah,
everything.
so it was either just sitting up there with the blade like that, or it went up like that and then switched, then went straight down. So I guess
Yeah.
nobody in the entire house ever looked up to see this knife, but he does try to tell her, the mom, and the mom doesn't want to hear it because I guess they just got into a fight. So that's another writing way of getting out of it is, he's just like, wait, but this knife just dropped. And she's like, I don't want to hear about it if you don't want to talk about this. And then
Hmm.
she gets annoyed and walks upstairs. So I think at that point, the dad should just be kind of like, hey, honey, what's going on here? Is
Right.
talk to me. And just nobody does. The
No.
boyfriend believes her instantly because he sees that shadow go by. And he's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck
Once
is
he
that?
saw it on that thing, it was like, oh my God, that was
Yeah, and
crazy.
the daughter tries to show the mom that, and the mom just completely ignores her.
Yeah.
Like she won't even look at it. So it's like, wow, great mom. Just completely ignore your daughter. I mean,
And she ignored her when she was talking about the chandelier. Remember, she was like, the chandelier fell and the other one was swinging. I mean, and then they were just thought it was just a faulty, like putting it in faulty or whatever. But no, it was, obviously. And then she's trying to tell her while she's cleaning the stuff up, and they're both the parents are just like, honey, don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. And like, she's trying to tell you that there's something fucking sinister happening in this
well,
house.
and
Like,
how long ago were those chandeliers put up? Because the dad calls the company and goes, hey, you guys put these up. How long have they been in the house?
I
Five
guess not
years,
that
10
long.
years, one
Probably not
year?
that long, I would imagine. Like maybe
Yeah,
just
for
recently.
yeah. And then once again, because she doesn't know the password, she can't show the parents the video.
Yeah.
And as you brought up, it depends on what format she's shooting on or like what device.
Yeah, so
I
if
mean,
she's
if she's
shooting it
just
on
using
a
the
video camera, she can easily just play it back. But if she's showing it on a if she's showing it on a they just have to look into the lens or whatever,
yeah,
kind of
if
thing.
Toby can manipulate things, why can't he manipulate computers and cameras? So like if she knows the password, she goes to type it in and then it says wrong password. She's like, fuck. So he starts a no password, puts that in, wrong password. Because Toby keeps screwing with the
Maybe like
password.
we see like
Or
the maybe we see it like flash a little bit, like something happened to the thing. So each time,
yeah,
he's just
like you
fucking
hear
with
like
her.
the doink, she's like, fuck, well, wrong password. Type it in. Doink. I changed it. Or if she's using the handy cam thing and she does go to show her parents, like, look, I could show you that the things were swinging and they just fell. It's like there's something in this house. Look, and it's all static.
Yeah.
But then of course, then you need a second. Well, she would have to do it in front of one of the cameras that's stationary. This I bought more than the third one with putting up the cameras because it was done by her and the boyfriend.
And they
So
did it like
that,
secretly, sort of thing.
yeah, a
Which, I
couple
mean,
of
the only problem I have with that is like if it's like a laptop that's recording like webcam or whatever, footage, which is what I'm guessing it is. It's a webcam chat thing, like Skype or
right
something. They never say Skype, but I'm pretty sure it's like a Skype thing. Then
scope.
how and it's running every, all day basically and everything. Why doesn't the dad, who at one point when the thing comes at him, like the knife falls down at him, he's right at the
He moves
laptop.
it.
Yeah. Why doesn't
That because
he just shut the laptop? Because
why
normal
doesn't he just
people do
show the
that.
wife?
Like, why do we have the laptop right here? Well,
Well,
she had it there
the
because
mom
of
had it set
recipes
up
for
for
recipes.
cooking, but if it's recording, which you can see, there's a dot, like a red dot.
Yeah.
then all he has to do is just sit there and go, honey, look, I'm not bullshitting you. This thing just dropped out of the sky. And then she'd be like, well, wait a minute. I did lose a butcher knife, because she even mentions how unusually big the knife is. And he
Oh yeah,
moves
yeah,
to
yeah. She does that to the because that was actually a funny line because she's talking to the boyfriend or whatever. The boyfriend's like, "Listen, you better listen to her. She's got a knife in her hand." And
yeah.
and she's like, "And it's an usually big knife." Yeah. Like
Yeah. Well, and the dad, like the boyfriend walks just into the house.
that's
And
but they
the dad's like, did
actually
you just
call it
walk in my
out though.
house? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you just walk in here? And then you do hear, if you're not, if you have to listen, but it's when the friends are over and the three girls are on one side and the boyfriend is on the other. And as the dad's leaving, he says something about a shotgun. He says, like,
I
I
don't remember the
haven't,
friends being over. When were the friends over?
they were having that party.
Are you sure this isn't a deleted scene? Because I don't remember a party.
There, no, you didn't. You only saw the friends, that you only saw the three girls, and then the boyfriend was on the other side.
I don't
The
remember
whole
them.
party thing was cut, but the friends are there because the parents are leaving.
Oh,
And
I don't
the
remember the friends.
yeah, and the
Okay.
dad, the friends are never, I don't even think they even have any dialogue. But I believe that dad does mention, he points right at the boyfriend and he mentions a shotgun. So it's like, touch my daughter, I got a shotgun.
Well, and there was one thing with the dad that I noticed, which was that, unlike the boyfriend in part three and stuff like that, and the dad in part two, I mean, this dad's not the one actually filming anything, or setting up the cameras or doing anything like that, like the other ones were, which is kind of interesting that it was the daughter this time that did it, right? That was all doing all the setups and stuff. But there was um the dad has been having problems with the mom. I guess there's some tension,
Yeah.
some issues. And at one point he's sleeping on the couch, or
Yeah.
whatever, watching TV or whatever he was doing on the couch, and then some shit happens to him and he's kind of freaking out for a second. And then the wife comes down and is like, "Hey, come back up to bed." And he was like, "Wait, didn't you like, you know, whatever, right?" And she's like, "No, just I don't want to hear it. Come back up to bed. I don't, I'm sorry I yelled at you. Let's just go, or whatever." And I was like thinking, yeah, that would have been the time. That should have been the time where he starts believing his daughter and saying, because there's something that happened. I forgot what it was, but something like maybe like something brushed him or something, or whatever. He saw, you know, he knew that there was something downstairs because Toby usually is downstairs a lot, or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I think like it was like a black thing that went over. It
Yeah.
was like a shadow or like a ghost person or
Yeah.
something like that. He kind of wakes up and looks around, and because that's the thing is, with that deleted footage of him kind of now believing the daughter, the dad just seems utterly clueless, and the mom just seems like a bitch. So it's I just don't. It would have been nice, I think, for the dad to acknowledge something,
Right.
and then and then unfortunately he gets killed, at the end. But it's, yeah, I mean, I still liked it. I liked it better than three,
Yeah.
and I thought that and a lot of that deleted footage has the cat. So the cat's in like a lot of scenes that got cut out, but the cat's just wandering
Oh,
around the
poor
house.
kitty.
Yeah,
He was thinking he was going to be a star, and then they
I know.
cut him. It reminded me of that reminds me of a friend of mine was in the movie The First Kid. I know, I'm sorry, but he was in the movie The First Kid, and
Big movie, I
it was
guess.
Disney like
Yeah.
movie or whatever, and he had a scene with the first kid, like he had like a scene that they shot and everything. And then he went to watch it in the theater. This is when he was like 12, in the theater with his dad. His dad told me this, and they went to see it, and they watched up to that like part, and he got cut out. He didn't know, you know? And he looked over at his dad and he goes, I don't think I'm in this movie, Dad. And it was like so heartbreaking. And that's what the cat's thinking. The cat's watching it at the premiere going, looking up at his owner. I don't think I'm in this movie as much as we shot.
They promised me at least 8 scenes. I'm only in 2. What the hell? Get my agent on the line.
My cat agent.
My cat agent.
Oh
So it's
Lord.
yeah, I liked this one, but I really do think it was been there, done that.
Do cats get
Which is
paid in friskies or like or actual money?
I think that they get paid in stuff like catnip, friskies,
Catnip.
treats,
Mm.
maybe like cat toys. It all depends on what their agent makes a deal with them.
Like the negotiations they make.
Yeah,
Mm.
because if you remember the cat in this, we first see him sitting right in the middle of the sofa. He's looking straight up. The camera's right there. His tail's wagging. So it was probably a deal that he cut, saying the first scene that I'm in has to be on that sofa. I'm going to be like really kind of proper, nice, cat with my tail wagging, and then the rest of the time I can be running around the house. But I have to be. I need people to see me. They need to. I need to
Why
have this
wasn't
on
he billed
screen.
at the top?
I know he got the last
Next,
credit.
yeah, I know. He should have gotten billed at the top with Catherine Newton. Catherine Newton, cat, and then whoever else. Oh
See, I'm
man.
so upset. I'm coughing is because the cat didn't get more
I
screen
know
time.
you're you got hairballs stuck in your throat. Anyway, going back. So let's talk about the ending, real quick. That was a crazy ending. So my favorite thing is when we see that Katie's been sitting inside the house, you know, and alone, I guess.
I but why did anybody okay, so when we're getting all those pixelated things,
Right.
you see, I think it's the mom who walks by, she comes down the stairs, and then you see from the sofa like a figure appear
Right.
and get up and walk. And I was thinking, is that Katie? Because why didn't the mom see her?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that a ghost? But I
Could have
do
been.
like that Katie's kind of, yeah, just roaming around the house. Yeah.
She's looking for Hunter, and stuff. And Hunter has now accepted that he's Hunter, you know. He's like, because the girl's like, why do you have the name Hunter? What's up with the name Hunter and your thing? He's like, oh, that's my name. She's like, no, that's not. Why is your name? He's like, no, it was my old name. It's my name before, And that's when she talks to the parents and like what do you know about your adopted kid? You know, what I mean?
Yeah. They get mad at her. They
Yeah,
don't like that she's bringing this up. And it's like, well, why not? Well, I mean,
yeah,
it's not hurting him any.
yeah,
I'm just curious. He keeps running around saying his name is Hunter. Why is he saying his name is Hunter?
yeah. So then, but then she comes into the room, looking for Hunter. Hunter is like, I guess, hid. He runs and hides.
He goes
Why?
into the closet.
Yeah, it goes in the
Yeah.
closet and like kind of like shuts the door, locks the door or whatever, so that she can't get into the room. And I think was the first person she killed the boyfriend, right? Or the mom. Mom
How,
dies.
how does the mom die? Oh,
Mom.
she's thrown up to the ceiling, like it breaks her
Oh,
back or something.
yeah.
And then she like hits the ground hard. Katie drags her away. Then the boyfriend comes in. He
Comes in.
goes upstairs and he tries to get onto the computer. And then when he leans over, we see that it's Katie and she snaps his neck like the dad on the sofa in part 2. And then she drags him into the closet, which in the deleted footage we actually see what's in the closet. We don't see him, but it's earlier when they're playing the game, the hide and seek game. He actually goes into the closet and we see how messy it is. But yeah, she drags him into there, and she gets Tyler, or she gets
Wyatt.
Wyatt or Hunter
Hunter.
out of the closet, and the dad and the daughter are coming back from dinner,
Mm-hmm.
and the dad's like, "Oh, isn't that your mom with Wyatt?" And the daughter's like, "No, that's the woman who lives next door."
Yeah, that's what's her name's, son, right? That's Robbie's mom.
Yeah, yeah, I think
And
that's what she says. Yeah, that's
it's
Robbie's
Robbie's
mom,
mom. So
but
the
she's
dad
with
goes to,
Hunter.
yeah, go get Hunter, and which I thought was stupid that they split up, or whatever. But it needed to happen because we needed the final thing. But so she goes in the house looking for she goes in the house, she realizes there's something off there. She comes upstairs looking, and she decides to call her boyfriend and Ben. And what was the boyfriend's name? Not Ben. What
I
was the
think Ben.
boyfriend? Was it
I think
Ben?
Ben is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it was Ben. So she calls up Ben, and Ben was his cell phone rings in her closet, and she's freaked out because, she was like, "Don't. I hope you're not playing this game. Stop it. This isn't funny." She goes to check the inside, and she finds him dead. Then does she get thrown across or something?
Yeah,
Does
she
something?
gets thrown out of the closet
Yeah,
and she hits the ground like by her bed. And as she tries to get up and run out the door, she gets pulled down and dragged.
yeah. But then she eventually escapes, from all that and runs out to um. Which why is there a ghost still there? No, none of the kids are there. I thought the demon could only be where the kids are, or where whatever it's attracted to, right? So apparently it's attracted to the kids. The kids are in control of it. So why was it's still there?
I I don't know. That's a good question. I think the ghost would be where Hunter is.
Right, and Hunter was across the street at that time.
Yeah, so it should. So the dad being thrown around makes sense,
But her being
but
thrown out of the room does not make any sense.
right, you're correct about that. Yeah, yeah,
So
because
I
if
think
if
that
Hunter,
was an that was a as cool as it was, I think that was a error, That was a goof on their
I
part.
agree with that. Yes, yeah, because if if Hunter was still in the closet and she was being thrown around, and then Katie came and got him, that would make sense.
Right.
But it
Yeah.
does, yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that she's across the street, and then so she runs across the street. She's looking around. I hate to say it, why do they still have cameras? In real life, nobody's going to be carrying their camera around to go across the street to see, like
Because some of these don't. There's normally that piece of dialogue, which I guess wasn't in this one or in a lot of them, where they say they do it in Cloverfield. I have to document this. Somebody has to see this.
yeah,
If I don't survive, there has to be a record.
right.
But yeah, but at this point, you would think after she was thrown all around that she'd just be like, "Fuck this,"
Just drop the camera. But the
and
thing
and
is,
she's not a
they need
threat
that
either.
because we need to see what's going on. Because, this
Yeah,
is why I don't like found footage. Found footage to me is stupid. You're running away from a Blair Witch, fucking throw your goddamn, you know,
well, and that one they do give the reason. It is the what's her face, the lead girl says that she has to document this, and
right,
so
but
like she
it still
records the goodbye
makes
to her
no sense when you're
parents,
being
and
attacked by somebody. You don't you put things down or you throw things down so you can run faster. Carrying something, even as light as a camera, is going to be, is going to be more distracting to you. And so I understand it. Like I understand we as the audience need to see this stuff. Otherwise,
right,
we're not going to see it. But this is why I like movies that are and you said that show the River was
yeah,
half found footage and half just like the movie,
yeah. It's
right?
it's like three different ways. It's like just filmed like a regular movie. Then they got the found footage, and then there's the footage that they find. It's that, so there's like three different things going
Right.
on.
And that to me works, because then you can just go, okay, well now we go back to the movie, and that is just whatever, you're seeing sort of what's going on, but there's no camera that somebody has to hold, and then you go to the other stuff and and that to me makes sense, because then you can have a scene with the person dropping the camera and then running to the house, and it makes more sense, because
Well,
after a while,
okay,
I just don't buy that she's going to be videotaping everything that she's doing.
so going off of what you just said, since these are found footage, and the first film is the one camera, and they
Mm.
tell us this is police footage, it was reconstructed type of thing.
Mm.
Who's now reconstructing these? Like if she's running and at the end there's like all the witches that come in on her, where did they get that footage? Wouldn't the witches take the camera and destroy it?
Yeah.
Because they don't want, so they would have the footage of the inside the house, unless the witches go to the house or Katie goes to the house and destroys it all. I mean, I guess some of it would be in the cloud. I don't know, but I don't know with that time period. But yeah, they would have to destroy that camera. Otherwise, they would leave the house, like the witches would move, and somebody would go through the house, and a real estate person or a cop or something, and then just find it on the ground.
All right.
But you would think they would destroy it.
You
And
would
who's
think
putting
so,
this
but
footage together?
of course they didn't destroy it. That's why we got it.
Right.
That's the only thing. And um,
And you have to assume the daughter's dead,
right.
because so that, and that's another thing, is why isn't anybody mentioning anything else? Like, I mean, it's, where are the kind of conspiracies or anything like that about this? Like in other films, even like the Chucky series and some of these things, there is like the cult of Chucky,
Right.
and people look up stuff about Chucky online. So people, and even though they do their research, you would think that somebody would be like, oh yeah, there were murders in this house, the people were related. And it's weird because then across town there's a similar murder. It's like nobody's really knows that any of this stuff is going on.
Well, you never see any police at all in any of these
Police, news
movies.
reporters, nothing.
Yeah. So there's never like the mention of like there's the cult of Toby or whatever. I always think of like Ghostbusters at the cult of Gozer, you know? Um, that was like, and you know what? And I forgot which one it was. Maybe it was the third one. They mentioned the Hitchites or whatever, which is in Ghostbusters. They mentioned Hitchites. Apparently Hitchites had a lot of Hitchites, whatever it is, had
I don't know.
a lot of gods and demigods and stuff like that. So, and demons, so a lot of them go back to that stuff. So
Huh. Yeah,
interesting. I never,
I don't remember.
I want to make a movie and have the Hitchites have something to do with, do with this
I'd have
stuff.
to look that up. I have no idea what that is. So
It was mentioned in the movie. I don't know which one. It was either third or fourth. I kind of watched them both sort of back to back, so it's kind of you know, uh, blurring together sometimes. In fact, when we were doing part three, I kept thinking about part four. And I was like, wait, that happened in part three. That happened in part four. The knife thing came to my mind, and I was like, wait, that wasn't part three.
oh no,
Part
no.
three didn't have enough cool stuff.
I might have got something mixed up with 3 and 4. I think I got something mixed up, but I'm not sure. Maybe. But it's, I don't know, I still like 4 better than 3. And at least it's got some humor in it, where the third one doesn't really seem to have any of that. So
Um, okay, I was looking it up. Hittites are an Anatolian people who played an important role in establishing the first kingdom in 1700 BC, 1750 BC. Then the Kanesh, so it's a different the Hittite Empire. Interesting.
Okay.
So that's a real thing. You never know in these movies that they might just bring up fake, history. But I think
That's what I kind of assume.
Dan Aykroyd generally knows, and I believe they mentioned that stuff in these movies to I'm not to reference Ghostbusters, but because that is I think that they did worship a lot of demigods and stuff and demons, you know, and stuff. But look it up on for Paranormal Activity. This is interesting. Um, Paranormal Activity. I think they mentioned. I was pretty sure they mentioned it because I was like, wait, that's from. Yeah, it was from part four. So they mentioned the Hittites. I think the girl mentions it or something, or she looked it up.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a fair amount of research that she does. Yeah.
Yeah, she does some research with the boyfriend and stuff, and they're like, "Oh my God!" It reminds me of part two, where the daughter and the boyfriend are looking up stuff online on the symbols, and they do that again on this one, where they see the symbol of the moon or the circle with the whatever
Oh,
it
with like the
was.
eye in it. Yeah.
With the eye in it, yeah. And that the kid had it when he went down the sand, it formed that, in the playground.
Right. Yeah. They start that in part three. Yeah.
So part three? That was part four. Part four
It
had it.
well, yeah, but part three, it's in the closet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
The
right. That's right. It's in the
Kate.
closet in the
Yeah, Katie opens the door and she's like, "What?" And it's the triangle with the eye in it. So
yeah. And that's I guess that's people who worship Toby, you know. Toby worshippers.
okay.
I would love to see what Toby looks like.
I mean, he may be that little kid. I don't know. I mean, this gives a pretty good. I don't know.
Oh, he's spelled with an I, by the way. You look it up on fandom, they actually show you what he looks like. You can't see it here, I don't think.
No, you gotta kind of put it more in front of you. It's blurring out. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I kind of see it.
Yeah, it's very blurry, but um, yeah, interesting. I don't know where you see him for the first time. Oh, last seen in Next of Kin. So I'm wondering if you actually see him.
Oh, so that is correct. So the reviewer was wrong. That's because it's supposed to. That's the connection that the filmmaker said is that it's the same demon. But that reviewer said no, it has no connection.
Oh, well, he was
So I
wrong.
guess it does. Yeah.
Nope. All right. Well, some reviewers can be wrong.
Yeah.
Like us, we can be wrong from time to time.
We are from time to time.
Getting names of Dermot Mulroney or Dylan McDermott.
Yeah, wrong. So they're all the same Dylans anyways. So so we got for part four here, that came out in 2012.
Right.
Its budget was once again 5 million. So it went from 15,000 to 3 million, 5 million, and then 5 million again. And worldwide, it made 143 million.
Oof. I'm wondering if there was I think you were saying like there was maybe some paranormal activity fatigue, maybe some people just, kind of getting tired of it after a little bit or something.
Yeah, because if you're looking at, part one is 193, part two, 177, and then we skyrocket up to,
200 and
207 for part
207.
three, and then it goes down to 142.
That's
And it
the like
just
the lowest, right?
yeah, it just continues to no, it continues to go down
Oh, well, it's the lowest so far,
so far.
So,
Yeah.
oh, well, hopefully, I mean, they're still making bank off of their 5 million, so they're gonna keep doing it. I mean, As I know, the Nexican, I don't think Nexican is the last one, right? Like they're planning to make another one.
No, yeah, I did read from one of the producers, I forget who it was, who said, yeah, they're going to make another one, and it's going to follow the original series. It's not going to be standalone.
Okay,
So
good.
it will, I guess, start back up the series
Well,
again.
hopefully Katie will be back.
That would be nice. So they
Katie,
do
we want you to come back,
come
please.
back, Katie, come back. Um, they mention in the documentary, like with part 3, they said they were kind of like uh-oh in a little bit of a way, because then like product placement was starting to come in, because there was like the Teddy Ruxpin,
Yeah, that
and
was weird.
yeah, and
See,
which I don't mind, because we live in, everything around us is,
it's product placement. Yeah,
yeah. And then with
brand naming.
yeah, and then I think maybe for part 4, I think maybe the daughter was too good looking.
Oh, you think Catherine Newton is too good looking?
Maybe she wasn't, she just didn't look like a typical teenager.
She looked like a
Maybe
Hollywood
more like a
version.
Hollywood person. Yeah.
I mean, she is a Hollywood person. She's, a
But
Hollywood
if it's supposed to be found
star.
footage, you're supposed to look more like a regular Joe, or regular
Right. Yeah.
Susan, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, she's not
So
supposed to look like Catherine Newton. Sorry, Catherine.
yeah, yeah, because she's
Yeah.
very pretty, she's very attractive, and so maybe that, you understand why the boyfriend is, you know hanging out with her. But I think
Mhm.
maybe the daughter in part 2 looked a little more like a regular person.
Like a regular person, not a star. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I remember, she wasn't a big name or anything. And Catherine Newton, I don't think at that time was a big name. I think at this time that she was making this, she was sort of getting her name out there, or whatever. But yeah, you're right. She absolutely didn't look like she looked more like a movie star, which she became, being
Yeah,
in
I think
now
the dad kind of looks
she's
like,
Ant-Man's daughter. Like I mean, you know,
who Ant-Man's daughter is hot, but okay. But I mean, it's like the dad kind of looks like a dad. The mom kind of just looks like the hot soccer mom. She really enjoyed wearing those push-up bras. So thank you. The boyfriend looked like a boyfriend. The
I
friends look
honestly
like
didn't think
friends.
like I did find like the mom to look, yeah, a little bit more homely and not as attractive
She,
as like Jolie or, them, but I liked her as an actress. Like I thought she did a really phenomenal job.
yeah, I thought that she looked more like a soccer mom, and,
Yeah,
and so I think maybe the daughter, was maybe a little too good
too
looking.
much. Yeah, too good looking.
It,
Oh,
it's like most of the young girls or young women who play Carrie, they're way too good looking,
like
way too
Chloe
good looking.
Moretz.
She is way too good looking to play Carrie. I mean, there's especially when if you've read the book, I mean, Sissy Spacek would be the closest, but still, Carrie's like 4'8". She's really fat with oily skin and pimples. She smells and has bad breath. Like she's just this nightmare. And so I guess maybe Sissy Spacek would be the closest, but even Carrie the Rage, they're all too good looking.
I mean,
So
Sissy Spacek herself is drop dead gorgeous, but then they
I
made her look like, a little.
when she was younger, I did not find her attractive. When she hit, I would probably say like 40, I thought then she became like really hot. It's
She
like,
was great. She looked beautiful in Badlands, but she wasn't 40 then, you know.
no, I haven't seen Badlands in a long time. So
Yeah, I would watch that. She looked, oh, she's just, but her daughter, Skylar, oh, I've interviewed her, and I think here's the funny thing. So Skylar Fisk, I interviewed her, and she called into my show, right? And me and my friend are pretty sure she was living with her mom at the time because I think her mom either answered the phone or like called her name or something, at the time that she was doing the thing. So we might have gotten Sissy Spacek's voice in our
ah,
podcast.
oh, there you go. That's
So,
funny.
Now I think I can't find that podcast anymore. I think it's gone, which kind of sucks. Yeah, Blog Talk Radio did that to just get rid of some of my podcasts. You know.
Never get
Anyway,
rid of anything, man. Put it on external hard drive or send it to the cloud.
back then I didn't think about it doing that, you know. So, but anyway, that's why I do these things on Indie Film Cafe. I've got a on the Indie Film Cafe network. I get a show called Throwback Thursday, which I post a bunch of the ones that I already had, you know, and everything I had done back in the day. And I post them up there. So we've got a bunch up there available
There you go.
for
There
people
you
to
go.
see. I think the one just came out today.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on to back to Paranormal Activity 4. I think I think Catherine Newton did a great job. I think all the actors did a great job.
She's
You
a
know,
good actress. She's a good actress.
yeah.
She just might be a little too good looking. That's all.
You know, normally that's not a complaint. You know,
No, but when you're trying to do the average person,
I'm just saying
you know,
normally that's not a complaint. Normally you don't.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, I don't. I mean, it's like casting Megan Fox or something. You know, you don't, or back in the day, Cindy Crawford or something. That's, you know, like they had in that Fair Game that came out. That's awful. They should have released the version that I saw like a year before it came out. The one that came out in the theaters was horrible. But she played a lawyer, and everybody in the theater laughed. It's like she's not a lawyer. She doesn't look like a lawyer. She doesn't act like a lawyer. She's not a lawyer, and everybody laughed at her. And I got to see her run out of the theater crying into the arms of Joel Silver. So
I don't even know what Joel Silver looks like. Honestly, I've never seen a picture of
he
him.
is short, kind of big beard.
Sounds like Kevin Smith.
There you go. Yeah, kind of looks like, yeah, in a way. So, but it's just, I don't know. It's somebody probably saw her and thought she was a good actress,
Well,
and
not
you're
anymore.
girl
Kevin
there.
Smith's not big anymore, but when he was.
No, but
Yeah.
yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. But you know, yeah, I mean, she's a good actress, and she's fine in the role. It's she's just, I think, just a little too attractive.
No, it happens.
Yeah.
You know
So
what? I can't have every casting, but I'm glad that it worked out because then we later got Freaky. I love Freaky. Freaky is I need to
I
get
haven't
that
seen it yet.
on 4K at some point, but I thought she and Vince Vaughn were hilarious and it was just a fun movie. But it's by the same guy that did Paranormal Activity too, like wrote the movie is then he directed 5 marked ones and then Christopher Landon, and then he did the Happy Death Day movies, which I also need to own because I love them. You know,
I got both. I really wish that he'd do part 3.
he's well after Scream 7, 2 part 3. You know,
Yeah, you said it's
and
supposed to
bring
be a
Rob Mello
trilogy.
back. Bring Rob Mello back. You know,
Okay.
yeah, he's the killer or whatever. He's also a guy he's a friend of mine. So, but he's the killer in
Oh.
Happy Death Day. There's the serial killer that they find or whatever in the Happy Death Day movies. The one that's in the prison and stuff.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because the killer is the roommate in the first
Right.
one, the
Right.
nurse.
But there's like they all set it up to be the that guy or whatever.
Yeah, at the end of the film, yeah, there's that. Yeah, the killer guy. Yeah, I remember now.
And
I haven't
that's
seen him
Rob
in a long
Mello.
time.
And he is awesome. And he's also married to one of my podcasting people. So there you go.
Well, look
Connections.
at you name dropping.
I
Wow.
know, like I know everybody or something.
Yeah, you should work for missing persons.
No. Why what? What's that? I'm so confused.
You know everyone. You should work for missing persons.
Oh, how would I
You're
never
putting
mind.
you're putting way too much thought in it. If
I
you know
am.
everyone, if they go missing, you can go find them because you know
I
everyone.
I can't
Work
go
for me.
find them because they'll
Oh
be
my
missing.
god. Oh
I'm
my
so,
god.
I'm so, I've got a cold. Don't be confusing me on these things right now. All
It's
right.
not confusing.
Anywho, moving
I've
on.
watched every football game out there. You should be a football player.
Just,
Same thing.
all right. No, never mind. We're not going to get into that because whatever. So, I guess that's about it. Like, well, I guess we
Yeah.
give our rating.
Okay. Yeah.
There's nothing else. I don't think there's anything else I want to
No,
mention. So,
no.
all right. So 1 out of 5 and stars. And what are you gonna do?
3.5.
You were always a little off. Like you said 2.5, I said 3. You're saying 3.5, I say 4.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun. As much as good look. I mean, maybe that's another thing. I did like looking at Catherine Newton, so it was fine to see her in the movie and stuff. And plus, I like her as an actress. So, also, I like the kids. I thought the kids were great. I thought the parents were fantastic. I loved seeing Katie. I feel like I saw Katie a lot more in this one than I've seen in a few of the sequels, and stuff. Usually she
See,
just
and
shows
in
up.
this one, I didn't mind the kids. I did not. In part three, I didn't like the kids. I thought they were boring. And this, I didn't think they were boring.
Yeah. Well, they were weird and creepy, which is like more fun to watch. When you watch a movie like The Kids and maybe and they're also boys, I don't know, maybe there's something with the girls because the girls, I guess, in the third one were kind of just bratty and kind of annoying, in a way that these ones were not like these kids were pretty cool, you know. I like them, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there's also, like I said, I forgot. I thought Robbie was Hunter, just under a different name. So it was that he's weird enough, so to be entertaining. So yeah, so I would, yeah, I think I give my review only because I just think it's a retread of the second one.
Yeah, I know
I
you
would
weren't.
probably 4 if it was something different.
Yeah, so in the scheme of things right now you seem to like second first, the first second. It's kind of funny. Third is this one, and then the
Fourth, and then the
then
third.
the third is fourth and last.
Yeah,
So far. So we'll see what the other three, I guess, right? Is there 3 left?
marked
Yeah.
ones. Yeah,
Mark
yeah, marked ones, Ghost Dimension, and Next of Kin.
actually can. So there's only
Yeah,
wow.
3.
So there's only 7. The all right, then I guess what we're gonna have to do to end it when we end it is do the Insidious, the
Well,
Red
no,
Door.
remember we were going to look at Tokyo Night,
Oh, that's right. That's
and
right.
if you can find the documentary, because
If I
that's
can.
a full movie. That's like 35. It's like 100 minutes.
Well, we won't do ratings on that one because well,
No,
maybe we
no,
should.
but we could talk about it. We could find, look at what we thought was interesting and how they did some of the effects and what happened to the series as it went on. So I think there's plenty of talk to talk about with the documentary. And then with Paranormal Activity 2, Tokyo Nights, then that we could review. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah. So
for
we still got
sure.
technically 2 more.
Okay.
So
Well,
5.
yeah. Maybe we can put them together like Tokyo Nights and the documentary. Because I don't know if we'll talk a whole hour about the documentary, but you know, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Because I
Yeah.
don't
Then
want it.
after that, we could do Red Door because that
Yeah.
should be out by then, that where you can watch it. And then probably a little after that will be the Nun 2.
Ah, that's
And
true.
then we could do Nun 2. So,
There you go.
but I
Well,
think those could just be dropped in wherever. If we're doing Saw and we have already done Saw 1 and 2, just drop Red Door in there. I mean, I don't think it matters.
yep.
So
All
there you
right,
go.
everybody. Well, thank you guys for checking this out. Hope you guys enjoyed our little review of not little. It was it's never a little, with us. We yap. So about Paranormal Activity 4. So we will be back in 2 weeks to discuss Paranormal Activity, I guess it's the marked ones.
Marked ones.
Yeah, which you
Yeah.
said is spin-off.
Yeah.
But it still, I guess, counts because it's next. It's the next one that they did. Even though it's not the next in line to the ones, but it's next, right?
Right.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right,
it definitely counts. It's just like Hobbs and Shaw. It still counts. It's just a spin-off.
exactly. Well, everybody, I hope you guys enjoyed this and let us know what you guys think. Until then, bye.
Bye.